In history, there was a great man named Marcus Aurelius, who is considered a model of supreme power. He stood out not only for his high position, but also for his morality, fidelity to principles, and deep philosophy. Unlike other Roman emperors, he rejected luxury and excess, from feasts drowning in wine to bloody spectacles in the Colosseum. He clearly saw his mission as serving humanity, and he fulfilled his task with full dedication, without succumbing to the temptations of earthly pleasures. One of the main principles of Stoic philosophy is to distinguish between what we can control and what is beyond our control. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Precepts, "Our thoughts, urges, desires, and aversions are in our power. In a word, everything we do ourselves. Outside our power are body, possessions, fame, positions. In a word, everything we do not do ourselves." This insight is not only very clear, but profound. It opens before us a new vision of the world and how we interact with it. Stoic philosophy does not call us to renounce the world entirely, but it does teach us to accept the fact that we are not omnipotent. Stoics believe that focusing on things we cannot control creates unnecessary problems for us. When life seems unbearable for us, it is often because we are worrying too much about things we cannot influence. If we let external factors control us, we become puppets in the hands of fate. We often blame our troubles on those who manipulate us. But the truth is that we ourselves have given them that power. As soon as we stop paying attention to external stimuli, they will lose their power over us, and we will find inner peace. Marcus Aurelius had an amazing ability to remain calm in the face of things he could not control. This helped him through the many trials of his position. He was able to focus fully on his mission, which he believed he had been entrusted by the gods. For Epictetus, freedom meant not giving in to outside forces and focusing on what was truly important. Perhaps this is the path to a peaceful and happy life. When life gets challenging, what should we not worry about? And how do we stop worrying? In this video, we will try to understand what Marcus Aurelius' philosophy teaches us. How do we learn to worry less? In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius divides time into present, past, and future, and he gives valuable advice on how we should treat it properly. Don't worry about the future. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in our imagination than in reality." This means that our thoughts about the future are the cause of our suffering. When we think about the future, our imagination starts to paint us all sorts of scenarios, and most of them will probably never happen. We start thinking about how to deal with the possible consequences, and we shiver with fear because we don't know what awaits us. Sometimes what we predicted happens, but much more often, fate takes us by surprise and we feel overwhelmed because we don't know what to do. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what matters here is not what happens to us, but how we deal with it. All the suffering that is associated with the future we experience in the present. And it's not that the future happens in the present. It's just that when we think too much about what might happen to us, our lives become a torment. It's as if we are transported into the future, allowing it to poison our present. So what did Marcus Aurelius say about getting rid of worrying about the future? He wrote, "Never let the future worry you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason with which you arm yourself today against the present." What he meant was this: if you can handle the present, you can handle the future. When he focused on the present, he realized that he could handle what was happening to him. So why couldn't he handle what happens to him later? This approach is reminiscent of the concept of amor fati, which tells us to love our destiny. Instead of worrying about what was going to happen, he directed all his energies toward coping with what was happening to him right now, and he realized that he could handle it. And if he did, why wouldn't he be able to deal with what would come next? Don't cling to the past. Marcus Aurelius also realized that life is short and time is fleeting. In a vast world beyond our control, the past, like the future, is something we have no control over. What happens, happens. That is, unless we invent a time machine. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Remember that man lives only in the present, in this moment. All other time is either the past, which has already disappeared, or the future, which has not yet come. Therefore, it is useless to mourn the past. It's not that the past doesn't affect the present or that we can't learn from it. It's just that we can't change it. It is beyond our control. Our memories of the past are often inaccurate. We have a hard time remembering exactly what happened because our memories are a subjective view of events. Sometimes we try to bring back the past by replaying it in our minds and reliving the emotions associated with it. Some people think that this is how they can control the past. But this is an illusion. The past is gone, and we are left with only thoughts of it. Many people say, "I wish I could do things differently," but it's impossible. Instead of focusing on past events, Marcus Aurelius suggested focusing on how we feel about them. We can't change the past, and we often can't control events as they happen, but we can always choose how to react. Perhaps you had a difficult childhood full of hardship and trials. Or you may have been abandoned by someone you loved and planned to live with for the rest of your life. Or maybe you tried to build your business but your plans fell through. But the past isn't just a series of troubles. It's part of our journey, can help us learn and grow. The difficulties and failures we've experienced in the past help us understand ourselves better, explore our limits, and find ways to overcome them. The past can be a valuable lesson for us. It makes us stronger and better prepared for future challenges. Think of the past as part of your story, an important part but not the only part. Let it inspire you to move forward and build a better future. Don't let the past control your thoughts or your choices. Use it to become stronger and more confident. But what mattered to Marcus Aurelius was not what happened, but how he felt about it. He asks, "Can we call something a misfortune if it does not go against human nature? Can you say something is bad if it doesn't go against the nature of reason? Do you think that something that does not violate the laws of nature can harm you? Do you know what those laws are? Think. Has what happened to you prevented you from being fair, honest, humble? Has it prevented you from developing the qualities that make you a better person?" Marcus Aurelius did not completely disregard the significance of the past. He saw it as a guide to action. When it comes to the future, our imagination works tirelessly, creating many possible scenarios, and most of them will probably never come true. We figure out how we'll handle the possible outcomes, and we tremble in fear of the unknown, of what awaits us. Sometimes things happen to us that we never thought would happen, and that can be both good and bad. For example, some people spend many years carefully planning their retirement, but sometimes life makes its adjustments and these plans fall apart. But there's no need to give up. Instead, we can learn to adapt to change and modify our plans to enjoy life in retirement as well. Or imagine a person who is diagnosed with late-stage cancer and told he or she only has a few months to live. Such a diagnosis can cause a person to panic. He or she will constantly think about what will happen to him or her and how best to proceed. What if World War III starts? What if I lose all my money? Yes, it's possible, but is it worth worrying about in advance? As Seneca wrote, we fear the future because we think about it. It exists only in our imagination. If you are diagnosed with a terminal illness, what prevents you from living today and enjoying every moment of your precious life? Keep your head up no matter what happens. Put on your best clothes, your nicest shoes, and live each day so that you will be remembered even when you are gone. Marcus Aurelius focuses on how he reacts to events. He realized he couldn't change the past, and perhaps we can't control events as they happen to us, but we can always choose how we react to them. At first, we may perceive the past as something bad. Maybe we had a difficult childhood or broke up with a loved one, or maybe we failed to build a successful business even though we tried hard. But for Marcus Aurelius, the events themselves don't matter. He asks, "Can we call something a real disaster if it is not contrary to human nature? Can you say something is bad if it doesn't go against the nature of reason? Do you think that something that does not violate the laws of nature can harm you? Do you know what those laws are? Think. Has what happened to you prevented you from being generous, fair, and honest? Has it prevented you from evolving?" Interestingly, Marcus Aurelius did not completely deny the importance of the past. He saw the past as a guide to action. He believed that history develops in cycles. Therefore, by observing what happened in the past, we can predict what will happen in the future. Live in the present. Marcus Aurelius understood. The present moment is all we have. The past is gone and the future has not yet arrived. Only the present is real and available to us. Yet we often focus not on the present, but on what has been or what will be. We are not happy with the way our lives are turning out. Perhaps because things are not going according to plan, or because our desires have not yet been fulfilled. And in these moments, the present becomes a prison for us. We suffer because we think about the future or cling to the passing of the past. Marcus Aurelius counseled us to fully enjoy the present and accept it for what it is. He reminded us that we cannot control the course of events, but we can control how we react. We cannot influence what happens around us, but we can choose to relate to what happens to us. Imagine you had a difficult childhood full of hardship and deprivation. Of course, the easiest thing to say is that it was horrible. However, according to the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, what matters is not what happened to you, but how you choose to treat it. He believed that if we don't perceive events as bad, they can't hurt us. It's all about our attitude. Instead of dwelling on how bad you felt, focus on how the experience affected you, how it made you stronger. This is how you will follow the Stoic philosophy. Accept what you can't change and find inner strength in the present. Marcus Aurelius saw the laws of nature as a guide to action. He believed, if you resist nature or get angry with it, it would be desertion. We must live in harmony with nature. Imagine that you are going through a difficult period in your personal life. You have broken up with a loved one and you feel lonely and unhappy. Here's how you can approach this situation using the principles of Stoic philosophy. First, accept the situation. Accept that breakups are a part of life and you can't be in control. What matters is how you handle the situation. Second, focus on yourself. Instead of blaming yourself or wallowing in despair, think about how you can become a better person and improve your self-esteem. Third, learn and grow. Think of this breakup as an opportunity to learn something. Ask yourself, what lessons can you learn from the situation? How can you become stronger? Fourth, live in the present. Don't waste time worrying about the past or fearing the future. Focus on the present and do things that bring you joy. Fifth, socialize with other people. If you feel lonely, spend more time with friends and family. Sixth, control your emotions. Learn to control your emotions rather than letting them control you. The art of life is not about achieving success, wealth, or fame. After all of these things are impermanent. The art of life is about having the right attitude towards what happens to us. So focus on your reactions and try to live in the present day, no matter what happens. Start changing the things you can change. Just start. Don't look at others, don't look to the future, and don't dwell on the past. Look at what is happening to you right now and start taking action. Hopefully you will succeed. Remember, your motivation may dwindle, but it's important to be persistent and consistent in your actions. Before we end, I want to tell you an interesting story about how Marcus Aurelius completely changed the life of a young man named Henry. Henry was an energetic and driven man, but his life was full of stress and tension. He worked for a large company and every day he felt tired and lacking motivation. During this difficult period, he started reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. This book made a great impression on him. He began to study Stoicism more deeply and apply the principles of this philosophy to his life. He learned to be more calm about problems at work, to better manage stress, and to focus on what was really important. Thanks to Marcus Aurelius, Henry's life changed completely. It was no longer as stressful as it used to be. He noticed a huge change in his thinking and his attitude towards life. Remember, life is a journey on which unexpected twists and turns may await us that can completely change our lives. Thanks to Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, we can touch the wisdom of the ages and find the path to success and happiness. This book gives us valuable advice from one of the greatest philosophers in history. It's time to reinvigorate your life. Take a few minutes to watch this video and you will discover a new world full of knowledge and understanding. We are sure that thanks to it, you will get a powerful charge of inspiration and a lot of useful tips. Right, I am a Stoic and I will realize that you have watched this video to the end. I hope these tips will be useful to you. Share this video with anyone who might need it and leave a comment.